Good afternoon. Welcome to the Inspiring Inking Facebook page and welcome to the Inspiring Inking YouTube channel. If you're here live right now, it's 2 o'clock on Tuesday, the 2nd of November 2021. Leave me a message in the comments. Let me know if you can see and hear me clearly. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for joining me. Do leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the things that I'm sharing today. And if you are watching the replay, just to know that the first 15-20 minutes or so is chat, and then there'll be some crafting and some new products I've got to show you today as well. So let's get started. Good afternoon, Michelle. Thank you for popping by. Hope you're okay. I've got some peppermint tea and socks on because it's chilly. Hampshire in the UK has all of a sudden got cold. It was down to about 3 degrees. There was frost on the cars this morning, so quite chilly. Hi, Doris. Hi, Rosie. How are we all today? What have you got to tell me? What is new in your world? Anybody got anything interesting or exciting to share? Anyone been out? I know lots of people have been on holiday. I also know lots of people have had bugs. I'm about 10 days in. I still feel as though a truck's hit me. Some kind of flu, tummy, something. I don't know what's been wrong with me. But yeah, just rubbish. But not COVID. I've done more COVID tests in the past 10 days than I've done for months. So no COVID here. So let's have a look. Jen's here, Roz. Apparently the sun's out in Wisconsin and Doris has turned off the heating. Yeah, our heating is definitely on. Good afternoon, Sue. Rosie's getting a new car. What type of car? And more importantly, what colour is it, Rosie? Brian and I are still looking for a new car for me and for him, and we haven't been able to find something that we like. But I want a blue one. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see whether or not I get a blue one. And saying that week went quickly. It did, didn't it? All of a sudden, miraculously, it's Tuesday. Good morning, Donna in Oz. Joanne's been in work during her week off. That's not good, Joanne. That is not good. You should be having time off, should be time off. Right, I'm just going to move. I'm going to tell you about all my stuff in a minute. Hello, Laura. Hello, Marlene. Maureen's here. Oh, Rose is getting a Vauxhall Grandland in black. I don't know what that is. I'll have to Google it later. Good afternoon, Mum. Or Pauline. Oh, and Doris has a blue car, which she loves. First blue car. It's a Buick Envision. Interesting. Don't know what that looks like either. I'll have to Google that later. Oh, wow. So Sue has been to Blackpool, spent the weekend at the Winter Gardens watching her daughter and granddaughter dance in a rock and roll competition and granddaughter freestyle. They did really, really well. Competition was fierce. So did you actually go to the Tower Ballroom then, Sue? That's kind of on my list of places to go. Mum and Dad took me and Richard when we were little to Blackpool. And I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but every now and again, my dad has crazy ideas. So the deal was that Richard and I could stay up until everywhere closed. So I don't know, Mum, do you remember how old we were? We were little. And we walked around Blackpool and we went to the fun fair and we went to the amusements and we did all of that, and place by place everywhere was shutting. And I'm sure Dad thought, brilliant, you know, we'll get to go home. But then all the night cafes started to open. and I remember, I mean, I think we pretty much stayed up all night because there was always somewhere would be closing, but then somewhere else would open. We had magical holidays as kids. It was amazing. So, yeah. So don't ever say that. Don't ever tell the kids, oh, yeah, we'll stay up until everywhere closes, because it didn't. Hello, Lorraine. She's saying hello to all the happy crafters. We are happy crafters here. Absolutely. Absolutely. So do tell me more tales of what you've been up to this week. The theory was that Brian and I were going to have a fairly relaxed weekend this weekend. The reality was we spent a lot of time on Saturday sorting out this. And I know you can't see what this is. But I have a new screen, a second camera, a stand that's got my laptop and the screen. And if you can imagine the bridge of the Starship Enterprise, that is what this looks like now. But it's super cool. And I'm really excited because it means that I can just flip from one camera to the other camera and I can see all your comments. And I'm really excited. But it did take quite a long time on Saturday. And it's a good job I'm married to an engineer with patience because, yeah, there were lots of Allen keys and stands and angles and stuff that didn't bend the right way and all sorts of things. And Brian's built me a little additional stand. And yeah, but it's very cool. So having said all of that, I am hopeful that it will look good to you guys when I turn the camera around and I do the crafting and various other things. But I am a little bit excited. Good afternoon, Janet and all the happy crafters. And Janet, so this is the Janet. So for those of you who've been doing my craft alongs and got the email this week about the PDFs that I've been sending out, this is the lovely Janet that set this whole ball rolling months ago when she asked some questions. And I just thought, we need this. So we're blaming Janet in a really good way to say thank you very much. Because with all these things, so for those of you that don't know, I teach a craft along every month, and I've been sending out the video link and the measurements in an email, but it's not contained in a way that it's easy to find. So that has all been taken from all those emails and put into PDFs with a picture and so on. So it just means that you can save it in your computer and just refer to it whenever you want to. So thank you very much, Janet. And it just shows that sometimes if you're thinking about something or you've got a question, just ask the question, because you never know. I realised that one person was asking a question, but actually so many of you would have benefited from a solution. So I've made the solution. Deborah's saying that she thought she'd missed me live as she's an hour late, but the clocks have yet to turn back, and she's in chilly Alberta. Yeah, so our clocks went back Sunday. So when do your clocks go back then? Because I kind of thought that we all moved back at the same time, but maybe not. Texas is in the house. Hello, Stella. Hello, Lisa. And Valerie's here from Hollywood. Yeah, Lorraine's saying the new PDF is Brill. Thank you. Jen saying thank you to Janet. Lisa has a question. Fire away. Fire away. So what else do I have to tell you? Right, so Lisa, so the PDFs go with the craft along classes. It depends where you are in the world. If you're in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands, you can join in with Craft Along. You get a kit in the post and you can have the PDF. If you are anywhere else in the world, make sure you get onto my emailing list, because there will be an opportunity for you to get hold of the PDFs that I'm working on. It's not sorted out yet, but it's coming. So get on my email list if you're not already on it. If you want to email me, amanda@inspiringinking.com. Let me just see if I can, yeah. There you go. If you send me an email there and request to be put on my email list, I can do that. Or if you go to my website, which basically is www. Instead of the Amanda at inspiringinking.com, then there's a sign up for my mail list there. So you'll be able to get on the mailing list and then you will know. Hello, Julia and Claire. Christmas is coming, says Joanne. Oh, and Deborah said the weekend that the clocks are going back the following weekend because of the trick-or-treaters. That makes sense. Okay, so I do have a question for you before I start with the updates of Stampin' Up. And that is candles, Christmas candles. So I know it's only the 2nd of November, but if you've been listening to any of the craft alongs, I am in a full Christmas mode. And I went rummaging through my candle cupboard. I may have a problem. I have a candle cupboard. It's a very small cupboard, but it's a candle cupboard nevertheless. And I get out, so I have scented candles in the house pretty much all year round, but I have specific ones for Christmas. And I just wondered if any of you've got any recommendations, either of candle brands that you love or particular scents, Christmas scents. I'm not a fan of anything overly sweet and cloying. So I'm not like a vanilla kind of fan or a baking smell fan, which is weird because I love to bake and I love to fill the house full of actual baking smells, but I don't tend to like that type of uber sweet smell. But, you know, pine and orange and cinnamon and cloves and ginger and that kind of stuff. So if you've got any recommendations, that'd be good. I used to have a candle which was a Christmas pudding scent. And it wasn't sweet at all, but it was just like the best posh brandy-filled, fruit-filled Christmas pudding you could imagine, and really heavy on spice, and it was just amazing. So I'm still looking for something to replace that. But, you know, whatever, favourite brands, favourite companies, let me know. Claire. Oh, Claire knows me well. She's saying I may have a problem. Yeah. It's quite a small cover. Oh, Claire's recommending. Oh, yeah. So, beautifully handcrafted, Claire is recommending. Can you remind us of the name? Oh, hang on. I'm reading. Oh, dear. Right. I'm actually reading two comments mixed together because they're moving up. So Claire is recommending, oh, hang on. Look, I can do this. There you go. Beautifully handcrafted, small business based in Cornwall. She's just brought an advent candle from them. Okay. So that's the next thing. I need an advent candle. Anne is saying she's got one too. Hopefully that's a candle cupboard. So actually, look, I brought it upstairs with me. So this is the White Company candle that I bought last year, and I lit it, but I brought it upstairs with me. Never, ever leave a lit candle unattended. That's a rule. Okay, if you're having candles, you never leave it alone. So take it upstairs with you into your other office. That's fine. So it's called Winter. So that's from the White Company. Oh, Joanne is a just oil burner, but in a wax melt. Chris prefers perfume-free candles as they don't trigger allergies. So, Kathy, Lisa said she sent me an email. That's great. Kathy, now. So, you were really kind and explained how I should say where you're from. So, is it Arkansas? Did I say it right this time? See, I'm learning. Ooh, Marla. Is available from their website or from Lulu in Stubbington. So those of you that are local to me, there is a really cool shop called Lulu at Home in Stubbington Village. And it's like a treasure trove. You go in and you never know what you're going to find. And you always come out with more than you had planned to buy. But it's a very cool place. I said it right, Kathy. Yeah. Because I said Arkansas last time, didn't I? But it's not, it's Arkansas. Thank you. And yeah, they definitely do the winter candle, because I was looking today. So like I said, today I went into the candle cupboard, got out that one and realized that is it. I have no other Christmas candles. So that's not good. So I'm going to have to go and get some more. which is a problem since I don't go shopping these days. I'm going to have to get them online, which is always a bit tricky, which is why I need recommendations of smelly candles. So if you're watching the replay and you've got some recommendations, do put them in the comments. That would be really cool. Okay. And those of you that have watched or read my blog, you'll know that every year we have an Advent candle, and every year it's a disaster. It's a family tradition, but if you're not familiar, it has 1 to 25 on it, and you light it every day, and it burns usually for about half an hour to an hour, and it gets rid of the number and it climbs down. And invariably, we either forget to light it for a few nights, or we forget about it and we get ahead of ourselves by several nights, and then we forget, and it's honestly every year it's a disaster. And I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but I don't know, we were less than a week in and I burnt it to the ground. So yeah, it's a bit ridiculous really, but it's a tradition and we like traditions. Ooh, Shirley, good morning from Canada. Whereabouts in Canada are you, Shirley? M&S, Lorraine saying M&S are doing a nice mandarin, cinnamon and clove candle. That's good to know. That's a nice combination. Oh, Kathy's suggesting candles with a wooden wick. It crackles as it burns. Yeah, now I've seen quite a few of those. And actually, there's been quite a few kind of wood smoke kind of candles. Not sure about that because we've got a wood burner, so we've quite often got wood smoke going on in the house anyway. And Antoinette is joining from Ontario in Canada as well. Thank you. Lovely. I love that we are international. You are awesome. Okay, so I have lots of Stampin' Up things to tell you. I've got some new products to show you. I've got some cards to show you. And I've got a bit of crafting to do as well. So let me share with you these cards first. So this card is from the lovely Kerry. There we go. That's beautiful. Look at all that colouring in there. So that's from Kerry. This one is from Sharon. See if you can catch that. So it's really reflecting in the light. Hopefully you can see that. Then this one is from Lorraine, who is actually here and live. Thank you, Lorraine. She said that she really enjoyed making this. This is one of the styles of card that we made in Craft Along. And then this one is from Mum and Dad. And it is, look at the texture on that. It's so cool. I love getting cards in the post. It is awesome. Okay, so in Stampin' Up news, I've got a couple of watch this space. So every year in November, Stampin' Up do a sale. And it's tended to be the end of November. And Black Friday and that kind of shopping is a big thing in North America. It's becoming more so here in the UK and in Europe. And they've quite often had a sale at the end of November. It's going to be the middle of November, but I don't have any details yet. So I don't know what kind of sale it's going to be. I don't know what products are included or anything. So when I know, I will tell you. So make sure you are on my email list because they always get the information 1st. And then second up, from Thursday, there is a joining promotion starting. So joining Stampin' Up as a demonstrator is one of the best decisions you could ever make. Joining my team would definitely be one of the best decisions you could make. And Stampin' Up are sweetening the deal, because instead of the joining fee being £99, it will be £75. So the price of the kit is £75, and you pick £130 worth of products. And that can be from the autumn winter catalogue or the annual catalogue. You get to pick what's in your kit. And yeah, amazing deal. So not only are you getting £55 worth of extra products, there's no postage. You will get to see the January to June mini and the Celebration mini in November. You'll be able to shop from both of them in December. And you will get to keep your discount all the way through till next March. And then if you meet the quarterly minimum, which is 300 CSV, you'll carry on being a demonstrator as you go forwards. So if you are interested, send me an email, send me a text, let me know, and I can give you a call. We can have a chat. And it's just such a great deal. And how many of you don't know what you want for Christmas? People will say, what would you like for Christmas? And you go, I don't know. Well, maybe you could pick a really good Christmas present for yourself. And you can hang out with me and the team. We have a Facebook group. We have online gatherings. Next year, we are having in-person gatherings as well. We have a craft along, a team craft along, which is different to my customer craft along. So if you wanted to, you could do both in a month. We have lots of inspiration. We have lots of laughs. And there's a lot of my team actually in chatting at the moment. So yeah, it is the best decision. So do let me know if you are interested in that. So yeah, so that's from Thursday. So from the 4th of November. Hi, Karen. She's watching on YouTube, but she has an echo. Does anyone else have an echo? That's a bit weird. Janet's saying they've always had proper candles on the Christmas tree. We've never had a fire, but you're limited to how many hours you can burn the candles. Wow. So I'm guessing that's a real Christmas tree, Janet. And presumably you have some kind of cup or something to put the candles in. Very nice. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is some new products, but I'm gonna use my new system. So you're gonna have to bear with me a second whilst I swap over. While I swap over the camera. I'm very excited. Ta-da! How cool is that? I hope you think that's cool. I'm very excited. I didn't have to flip the camera around or anything. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Okay, so no echo. Oh, Karen. Karen had me on echo because she was watching me on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Thank you, Stella. She said it was cool swap over. Oh, yeah. Oh, dear, I'm so excited. Right. Okay. So, Chris said that she had real candles on the tree when she was little until the new kitten ran up the tree. Oh, my goodness. Kittens and Christmas trees. It's a disaster waiting to happen. Okay, so there are some new products available. I'm going to be emailing out this afternoon with all of the details. But these products are from the January to June mini. Well, I say they are. Hang on. This stamp set called Eden's Garden. And these dies, which are kind of oblong wreath dies. So that's what these two are. You've got a label die and then an edgelet. It's very cool. And these are the distinctive style stamps. So they've got kind of lots of texture. So these, hang on a minute. Okay, so Marlene's saying I'm sounding distant. Hang on a second. Hang on. Move that out of the way. Is the sound better now, Marlene? Let me know. Because I moved the camera that has the microphone in it. Right. Right, okay. Right, so I'm sounding echoey. Okay. Bear with me a second. Oop. Is that any better? Oh dear. Technology, huh? Let me know, is that any better? Okay, I'll just wait for a second while the comments catch up, because it's quite often it takes a second for the things to, yeah. Okay, let me just. Okay, so we've got lots of people saying echoey and a bit louder. Yeah. Right, hang on. Oh. All right. Ooh. Okay, I'm hoping I've moved the microphone back to where it was. I don't have anything that technical, Chris. I think basically what's happened is I am using two different cameras with two different microphones, and probably what I need to do is just go with one microphone, and I will get that sorted out for next time. I don't want to kind of stop now. so long as you can hear me, because the only way I'm going to be able to change the microphone settings right now is by switching off and switching off, switching off and switching on. So, okay, I will investigate. I was fairly sure I was going to need to get a microphone anyway. So just another thing for the list. Right, so stamps and dies. So the price, the bundle price is $49.50. The stamps on their own are $22. The dies are $33. I am loving the dies because of the shape. It's very cool. So these are going to be available in the January to June mini. But also, like as an additional release, there are some gems. Let me bring these up. So you've got like teardrop gems and then blue gems, and there's 140. So so there's 60 of the teardrop shape, and then that must mean there are 80 of these ones. So they're really cool. And then this paper is stunning. So the gems in the paper are while stocks last. So depending on where you are in the world, it will depend on how long they stay in stock. But they are gorgeous. So I'll just show you them kind of two at a time. I'll bring them up a bit as well so you can see the detail. Look at that. Look at the gold foiling. Then this one, I'm going to have to bring this up really close so you can see. Stay still. Right. It has tiny gold dots. Can you see them? I'm not sure whether you can, but they are beautiful. And then look at that ombre background. This one's got leaves with golden leaves and a lovely, really soft background. More leaves and golden leaves and splats. Leaves and golden leaves. Ooh. And kind of spots and dots. I'll bring that up actually. You can't always tell. And then more leaves and golden leaves. And then like a crosshatch kind of fabric style pattern. So the colours in these papers are basically soft succulent, evening evergreen and gold, and there's a background of white. So it's a really beautiful kind of tonal paper. So the paper, Sandy's saying, what were they called? They're called Ever Eden. So the gems are called garden gems. And then the paper is called Ever Eden. Chris, the colours aren't listed on the packet, which is a little annoying, but they are listed on the flyer. So called Ever Eden. Really, really pretty. I'll pop that down to one side and let's do a bit of crafting. Now, today I am going to be talking about blends. And the reason that I'm talking about these today, I'm getting all the stuff. Oh, look, you can see my basket. Getting all the bits of paper out. The reason I'm talking about blends is I had an email from a customer, the lovely Tracy, who asked asked me what the difference was between markers and blends, and when would I use each particular type. So what I'm actually going to do is talk about blends this week, and I'm going to talk about our Stampin' Right markers next week, and then obviously I can kind of compare and contrast them. So Deborah's saying, what are the colours on the flyer? The colours on the flyer are what I actually just said, Deborah. So soft succulent, evening evergreen, basic white, and gold foiling. So there we go. Right, let me just check on the messenger. Sound's gone back to normal. Exciting. I wonder whether a wire's got loose. You never know. No, no, they all seem okay. Okay, right. So let's start out with the blends. Let's just talk about blends themselves. So these are Stampin' Up alcohol markers. Now, there are lots and lots of different companies of alcohol markers on the market. All of them have different claims to fame, and some have huge ranges of colours and all sorts of things. The thing I love about Stampin' Up is for every colour in our colour families, they have a light and a dark marker. So this is Old Olive. So so for each colour, you get a light one and a dark one. Now, one or other will be closer to the actual colour. So this is Old Olive, and I would say the darker one is closer to the actual colour of Old Olive, but kind of the blended variation will all coordinate with it. The same as our normal markers, you store them flat. They have a central reservoir of the alcohol, the dye sort of solution. So if you store them upright like this, all of the dye will go to one end, one tip end will dry, and it isn't good for the pen. So store all your markers lying down. There is a fat white line and a thin white line on the marker with an image. So the fat line means a brush tip and a skinny line means bullet tip. So that's your bullet tip and that's your brush tip. Now I use the brush tip when I'm laying down a large amount of colour. When I am blending, I use the bullet tip, and there's a very important reason for that. The bullet tip is much tougher. The brush tip, if you smash the end, it will fray. So just be careful, and when you're colouring, just use, like I said, lay down lots of colour with the brush tip, but when you're blending, use the bullet tip. And the lids are designed to kind of stack one on top of the other. They are alcohol markers, so make sure that you put the lids on and work on small areas at a time, and I'll kind of show you that in a second. Jen's asking, the new DSP and the stamps, are they available soon or January? They are all available now, Jen. So they went live today. I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be emailing out the link and the information in a few minutes. Well, when I'm done later this afternoon, with all of all of the information, but I wanted to share the pictures with you today. Okay, so let's just see what have I actually covered all of the things. Yeah, saw them lying down, brush tip, the two tips. If you're struggling, because the lids are designed to be a snug fit, if you're struggling to get them off, use your thumb on the 3 little dots there to push off the lid. But when you put the lid on, you need to hear that snap. Okay. Right. So these are awesome for colouring in. Now, when you are colouring in, you will find that the colour comes through the cardstock. So I'll show you in a second where it comes through. But be aware that you will build up colour. So I've got a little bit of this is the Old Olive. I'm just going to put a little bit there. But if I go over it again and again and again and again, you'll be able to see how much darker that is. Now, part of that is because this piece is drier than this piece, but you can build up colour. It does dry quickly, but if you look, you can see that's the bit that I only put one little bit on, but that's how much of the pigments actually come through. Take care, Deborah. See you later. Now, when you're colouring in, you can do this. So you can just put 2 colours side by side. But the beauty of the blends is you can go over that join and pull the 2 colours together. And if you just give it a second or two, it will sort of all soften through. And the 2 colours will kind of blend in together. It's such a cool thing. I love these alcohol markers. I'm not very skilled with colouring in and blending. Never have been. That's kind of why I'm a stamper, not an artist. I can't draw either. And using the blends just makes it easy when you're colouring in, and you don't get any of the lines. You know, sometimes if you did, just so I'm doing now, I'm just putting like a lots of colouring lines down. If you used a standard marker, you would expect there to be lines here, and there just isn't. It just softens and blends in together. Okay, so obviously we can use blends for colouring in. So that's the first thing that you can do. The second thing that you can do is change the colour of all kinds of stuff. So I've got my Misty Moonlight blend here, and you can change the colours of your gemstones, because who doesn't want to have blue rhinestones? Ooh, they're so cool. And I've done some pearls as well. And because of the alcohol, it's a permanent marker, so the colour won't come off there. Now, you remember I said if you're heavy-handed with your brush tip, it will fray. Let me show you. this, I don't know how well you can be able to see that. This is what happens. So sadly, some of my customers used this end rather than the bullet end for colouring in, and it smashed the end. But it's okay because I tend to use the bullet tip. Now, it works on rhinestones and pearls. It also works on ribbon. So lots of you have this awesome ribbon because we used it in the retreats. So let me just snip a bit of this off. And you can colour any ribbon. Obviously, if the ribbon's got a colour to it in the first place, you'll end up with kind of an amalgamation of colour. But because this is white, it will just take that colour. Now I'm just going to give it a second to dry because the sequins just kind of hold the colour. But look at that. And unlike a water-based marker, because when this is dry, the colour is not going to come off. You've got this beautiful coloured ribbon that will go with any of your projects. So it just means that if you've got the blend marker, you can colour your ribbon to match your project. Now, there is another technique that I just want to show you. Now, I would recommend that you only do this if you're not too worried about your markers, because you can make fraying worse. But if you use the brush tip and the lid, you can make splats. Oh no, my pumpkin pie blend just fallen on the floor, and I'm going to need that in a minute. So you can make splats. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the marker and putting it inside the lid and flicking. And I am not sure how much you are going to be able to see. I think it is, the camera is picking it up, but let me bring it up closer to you. How cool is that? It's very cool. Obviously, just go carefully with it, because obviously you don't want to ruin your markers. Right, let me just see if I can reach this pumpkin pie blend with my toe. Hurrah. Okay, so the last thing that I'm going to show you with the blends is to use it for shading. And this is one of the things I do most often with them. So I'm just going to stamp a lovely snowman. Now this is Snowman Season stamp set, one of the best Christmas stamp sets. Love it. And the awesome thing about it is because the main images are snowmen, they're white. You know, there's very little colouring in needing to be done. So I don't know what it is about these blends today, but they're all rolling at the end of the table. I was not going to be able to reach that one. Okay, so let's colour in his carrot. And then we're just going to go with some traditional red and green for his hat and his scarf. So this is just old olive and real red. And these bullet tips are so fab because depending on how you hold a pen will depend on how fine a line you can get. So you can get really close into that snowman. Oh, bye, Lorraine. Hope your meeting goes well. So the lovely snowman is really cool. Do a bit of a close up. He is really cool. But by adding a little bit of shading, you can make a big difference. So the first thing I'm going to do is where there is shading already on the stamps, I'm just adding a little bit of extra shading. And what that's done is it has made him look a little bit rounder. Can you see? So this is light smoky slate. And then balmy blue. This is light balmy blue. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make him pop completely by just running the balmy blue marker all the way around him. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put it around half of him. And I am hoping that you can see the difference on this side to this side. Can you see the difference? Let me have a slurp of my tea whilst you let me know. Is this nicely in focus? That's my other question. So what I'll do is I'll let you look at that just for a second while I do a bit of stamping, because I'll just put him up. So I'm just going to let it snow there. And I'm going to cover over. This is a balmy blue card blank, and I'm going to cover over the whole of the card blank with snowflakes on my recently re-inked balmy blue ink pad, which is why it's so dark. So let me just cover that over so I can just fill in those other bits. There we go. Ooh, I just need a little bit just there. There we go. So that's that one. So I'm just going to go around the last bit of this snowman, and it makes such a difference. And until you actually do it, you don't actually realise what a difference it makes. It really does make the whole thing just pop. It makes him lift out of the paper. Super cool. And then I am just going to punch him out. Did you hear something else fall on the floor? It's obviously one of those days today. So there we go. An awesome snowman with a little bit of shading, a little bit of additional shading. That was smoky slate, and this is balmy blue that just lifts it. And I know the card blank here is balmy blue, but the balmy blue will work on anything that you're drawing around. So as well as balmy blue, there is another color, which is grey granite, that works really well. So I'm just going to show you another card. But before I do that, I have to make a card blank because I didn't have any. So this is Blushing Bride. I didn't have any Blushing Bride card blanks made. I normally have card blanks made in every colour, but I've got a bit of a cardstock crisis going on in that I haven't made any for a while, so I just need to sort that out. Okay, so 3.5. Catherine's saying the snowman's cute. He certainly is one of my favourite stamp sets, and it's such a quick set to use as well. Okay. Darn, that's the wrong size. Ooh. And I've got a wonky edge on there. So let's go down. Let's see if that's better. There we go. Okay. So this time I'm going to use this stamp set, which is called Forever Blossoms. And I'm going to just use this dog rose pattern. And so it's not there. Fabulous. Okay, just chat amongst yourselves. I'll leave the snowman card so you can see it for a second while I run downstairs and go and get the stamp. That's rubbish. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, it was on the block downstairs. Right, but that was good because I took the opportunity to get art gallery and my happy birthday stamp that I needed. Okay, let's ink this up. So the thing that I failed to mention at the beginning is Memento Black. This ink is the ink that you need when you're using alcohol markers. It won't bleed. It's brilliant with photopolymer stamps as well. So it's the perfect ink for your blend markers. If you have StazOn Black, don't use it with these because it's solvent based. The alcohol is like a solvent and it will make a big mess. So there you go. So if you haven't got any Memento Black, you definitely need some of that. So let's get that stamped up there. And then let's see, get a little happy birthday. That's pretty wonky, but it'll be fine. Straight's overrated. Hello, JW Wakefield. Lovely, lovely of you to join us. They're asking, does anyone else take photos of the cards they make? Well, I certainly do, because I put them on my blog and Facebook and Pinterest and everywhere else. I'm sure lots of people here do, actually. It's great to take photos of your projects, oftentimes because a lot of the cards that we make, we give away. So it's always nice to have a photographic record of what you've made. And also it gives you lots of inspiration as well. So for this card, I'm using the Old Olive for the green. And I'm just going to colour in the leaves. Now, obviously, you can use, I've got the light Old Olive here, and I am going to go back over again in a second with the dark as well. And the way that I blend is I lay down what I consider to be the main colour. So in this case, it was the light Old Olive. I'm highlighting some of the bits with the dark, and then I'm going to go over with the light again and just pull the colours through. And it just softens them. Now, I'm hoping that you can see the technique that I'm using. I'm dragging the colour. I'm not going wiggle up and down, backwards and forwards. I'm going in one direction. And that helps the colour blend in the way you want it to. You're also less likely to scuff the paper as well. So let's have a look. So what I'm going to do is just use this pink. Now this pink is actually Flirty Flamingo. And oh, bear with me a second, my pen lid's got stuck. Right, hold on. down the stairs like a jackrabbit today. Right. So, Flirty Flamingo. And I know it's kind of weird because the card blank that I made was Blushing Bride. But I just find, because what I want to do is have like a soft pink and white on these roses. The colour combination is the best one. I'm all that puff now. Ooh. I'll just colour those in. Okay, so let's do the next bit. And what I'm actually doing here is I'm just doing a small amount of colouring and then doing the blending. What you don't want to do is do loads and then go back to blend. You do want it to be sort of a recently laid down, so it just moves the ink. So let's see what everyone's talking about. Photos. Donna's saying she takes photos all the time. Sandy takes photos of every card she makes. Kathy makes 2 of every card she makes, so she always knows what she's done. Rosie does when she remembers, and Ross does all the time. So there we go. I'm just going to go back and just add a bit of the darker. There we go. So there we have that. Now what I'm going to do with this is, in order to make this pop, I'm actually going to use the light grey granite. So the balmy blue, like I used on this one, will work, but I like the grey on nature images. So trees and leaves and flowers like this. And grey granite is such a cool colour. And I can't really describe what it is, but to me, it's a warm grey. So quite often greys are quite blue in their tone and they're quite cold. But this is quite warm. And it just gives this amazing shadow. And I honestly, it's tricky for me to see it, and I'm right on top of it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do half of this, and then I will bring it right up close to the camera. But I'm hoping that you will be able to see some of it, or if not being able to see it, see the effect of it. And again, I'm using the bullet tip because I want something fairly fine. I don't want anything too dark. I'm just going to go around it again. Colouring in, so I'm going quiet. Okay, so can you see that? I think it will probably depend on how big your screen is. One of the awesome things of my new system is that I've got 2 different screens and I can actually see different screen, but can you see? Oh, I'm hoping the camera's picking it up. It's really subtle, but really cool. And again, you don't need to be an artist in order to do this. You're just following the lines. Now, let's see. I don't know that anyone has commented about whether or not you can see. I am tempted to go over it with the darker one just to show you a bit more definition. What do you reckon? Do you want to see it with the darker? Just give me a second to type your answers. I am conscious that time is running on as well. I hadn't realised what time it was. Oh, can't really see it. Okay, thanks, Marlene. Decision made then. I will be able to you'll definitely be able to see this. But it's enough just to give a shadow. I hope that you can see that now. You should be able to. Thanks, Jen. Bye. There you go. You'll be able to see that now. It honestly, it is so cool. And I know that this is, you know, you worry that this is a much darker shade, but when it dries, it actually isn't. And it just makes it go boing. It's really cool. And once you layer it up, which I will do very quickly, it's just a great way of giving a card dimension, or when it's actually flat. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put some splats on because I can, because I love my splats. There. So we've got splats as well. But you'll be able to play around because obviously with the blend you get 2 in a pack. So if you go for the grey granite, you will be able to play around with the lighter one as well. And honestly, in real life, you can see it. But I have so many lights on and, you know, so many different things here that the reality is you won't be able to see everything. Let me just put some of these in the shot there, look, and that one. pink one. There we go. So that was a bit of a whistle-stop tour. Let's put them there, look. A whistle-stop tour using blends. Let me make that fold a bit better. And some different options. So obviously you can use it for colouring in, you can use it for colouring your ribbons and your rhinestones, pretty much all of your embellishments. You can do splats, and you can do this super cool technique of shadow, which makes it pop. So I hope that you have enjoyed this afternoon's craft and chat. As always, I will be live here on the Inspiring Inking Facebook page and the Inspiring Inking YouTube channel at 2 o'clock. So that's UK time, 2 o'clock every Tuesday. All of the products that you've seen today can be purchased in my online store. And a little bit later today, there will be some clickable links for you to be able to go shopping should you wish. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments or send me an email, amanda@inspiringinking.com. Let me just pop that up again for you. And particularly if you've got any requests, about things that you would like to see on future craft and chat or future YouTube videos, or even talked about in my blog, then please send in your requests. I hope you have a great week. I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.